The script is planned. The deal is real. Hey, I dig that. All right. Dude, a lot of fun today. I got this list here. I'm going to go over it with Zander here. By the way, don't forget, our billionaire sports enthusiast, John Morgan's going to join us at 4:30. I looked something up about John Morgan. You ready for this? Morgan & Morgan is the third most here. How do I say it? They spend the third most amount of money in advertising next to any corporation in America. It's like an insurance company and Amazon and them. This guy spends $400 million a year in advertising. Phew. Little old Sills. And then we got Joe Theismann. That'll be at 5:30. All right. One of the greatest weeks of the year. My boy Big Z knows it too. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I love fireworks, food, and family. And this is what the 4th is. And all of us are having a great time. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Please hit that like button. Supers go to the top 2. We'll do that without further ado. The man, the myth, the legend. He's killing it on Bird 365. My friend, Big Z, Zander Krause. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
I love this week, no?
Yeah, great week, man. Great week all around. Great week for the country. Great week. Get together with some family. Get out in the sunshine. Big Sills. It's always a good week, man, in July.
It really is, man. I dig it a lot. All right, I'm going to do my list of 10. I'll explain here in a minute. But I want to ask you this. Hurts by the numbers. What are you going to expect this year with this? So let me read them to you. Hurts finished 24, 20th in yards, 25th in attempts, 22nd in completions, 8th in completion percentage, 20th in TDs, 11th in sacks, and his rating was 5th. What are you looking at in 2024? Because I heard you guys talking. Here's what I got to tell you, Zander, about, bro, I don't believe anybody can stop your run game. Why do you want to increase the passing?
Do they want to? Or are we
Why
assuming?
would you?
Are we assuming, Do we want to?
I don't believe there's a – okay, I don't believe Kansas City can stop you.
Well, to what extent do you think teams are going to come out and force the team to throw the ball?
Will it matter?
It won't matter, but that would insinuate you're going to have to throw the ball to win.
I don't believe you can stop me.
Well, they did stop them in the Super Bowl in terms of the run game.
One game.
I'm just saying, if that applies to more games this year because of the film that we put on tape, you're going to need the passing game to do what they did in the Super Bowl consistently in those games. Now, I think they're going to do it, but I understand where you're coming from. If they can't stop it, why do it? But I don't know. How much time are teams going to spend trying to take away Saquon? I think a lot.
Go ahead. Hey, that'd be like me telling Mike Tyson, hey, don't throw haymakers. We want you to box. Don't throw the big knockout punch.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I mean, George Foreman, that dude's out of 24 and 44. He didn't do it. Remember what George said? Don't you think this is the philosophy that the Eagles have? I'm not looking to win quarters. I'm looking to win the game. And that means me wearing you out. Dude, I don't want them to get into a passing attack where, get this, all of a sudden you start going finesse again. Didn't we say a little bit about the 23 team that they started looking too finesse? I mean, I just said, run the ball, man. Now, 800 carries, I don't care if his wheels fall off. If they win 2 Super Bowls in a row, Saquon, thank you very much. And I'll see you in Canton if you get $2,000 again.
Yeah, really.
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
this is about winning football games here. All right. I wrote 10 things down, Zander. If you want to repeat as Super Bowl champions, I said this, and let's start it off with Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts has to do a little bit more what you said. I think Jalen has to be more. I think he has to be more involved on a week-to-week conversation. And I don't want to make it sound like he wasn't involved at all a year ago, because he was, obviously, in the run game. I need that guy to make 4 or 5 big plays in a game, and that's it. I don't need him to be any more. I don't want to rely on one guy. I don't want to see the 30th ranked offense. I want to see more explosion. You know, the one thing they don't do anymore, they don't throw the ball deep. They just got away from that. They went completely away from it.
I don't think they threw the ball deep in intricate ways, but they did throw the ball deep. I mean, they had a lot of deep throws to A.J. Brown last year. I mean, me and John joked all year. That's all they got in terms of when Jalen identifies the blitz at the line of scrimmage. He just looked over at A.J. and said, "Yo, dude, go long, go route," and he tossed him up. I don't really agree that they didn't throw the ball deep.
They were 25th in attempts. How could they be really?
Well, that's because they ran the ball so effectively.
Yeah, but I know. But I mean, to sit there and say that they were a deep passing game
well,
when you're
no,
25th in
I don't
attempts.
think they removed it completely. I mean, they did throw the ball deep. You know, in terms of if a given quarterback throws the ball 30 times a game and they throw the ball 5 or whatever it is times a game, I don't know what the percentage would be, but I think the Eagles' percentage of throwing deep is probably comparable to the rest of the league.
All right, let me go down with this one here. Are you concerned with this style of play that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and the health of them this year? When you run the ball so much, if you're going to run the ball over 400 times again, don't you have concerns with those guys blocking? You know, it's $51 million in receivers. You know, I mean, I get it. I mean, and they don't have a problem. They've never bitched about it, because I've never even heard A.J. bitch about blocking. But do you not think that takes its toll also on the wideouts blocking in the run game?
Well, you've been talking about this. I mean, and it would, the data would show you that whether they were injured blocking or not, the data would bear in your favor in terms of AJ and Devontae both missed games last year in one of the most run heavy, seasons of the year. Now, I would push back and say the time AJ was hurt was actually the time that they weren't running the ball. But, I do bring up the thing that you used to always do that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that has a factor in on this, but I think AJ Brown is good. And again, we can't legislate that. So I don't want to predict that they're going to get injured. I think over time, you're probably putting some tread on the tires, but it doesn't mean the tire's going to pop. You know what I mean? It just means you might need to get new tires earlier than you thought. You know what I mean? Maybe that comes into play.
And that's the point. There's 2 things you can't legislate ever: injuries and turnovers. Some years they come, some years they don't come, and injuries are the same way. When people go, last year we led the NFL in interceptions. Well, I wouldn't use that as a metric for the following year, because that's just something that's a year-to-year thing. That's not a schematically given thing.
Well, sometimes I agree to a certain extent. Sometimes I think, if a quarterback plays like shit and it's just not accurate, you know what I mean? They're going to have more turnovers. So, but I hear what you're saying.
But I'm saying, like, defense, the reason why you didn't have a lot of turnovers on defense
turnovers on defense
is because you didn't have a guy like Gardner Johnson back there because of personnel.
Yeah, no, you're right then. That makes more sense.
Okay. Help me out on Dallas Goedert and why they brought him back. Is it more for the run game? Is it more for the pass game? Is it more for what? Because I want to know where they're going to define his role. Because as a matter of fact, Zander, you would make a comment. I don't really know what Goedert's role's been the last 3 years.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, with an offense like this, it is a little bit undefined. And I think a combination of all the things you just said is the truth of why they're bringing Goedert back. I think they always valued him, across all those sectors, but it had to be at the right price. They obviously made that clear. They weren't willing to pay him, what he was originally going to make. So he took a pay cut. But does it come back to we're losing a lot of guys on defense? And if we do want to have a chance to compete, we're going to need the offense to maybe, carry a little bit more water this year than they had to last year. And the best way to do that is not getting rid of Goedert. It would be bringing Goedert back. Now, maybe it's hard to define his role. Maybe you don't know exactly why. But the one thing I can guarantee you is that Grant Calcaterra is not better than Dallas Goedert.
No,
so bringing him back, helps improve your chances at the offense doing what they need to do. And I think it's as simple as that. Honestly, I'm a Goedert guy. I've been hard on him in the past. There's been times where I said I thought he was overrated, but I think it's more about, him being on the field. When he is on the field, he's obviously one of the highly, a great tight
Top
end.
5.
But if he can't stay on the field, that's a big problem. But I think he'll be on the field probably 12 games this year. I think we can guarantee 12 games. Maybe that's it. We'll see.
Number 6. I think your players are so good. And I think your players are so good on offense that I don't really give a shit as long as OC stays out of the way. That's his new name for me, is OC. I don't care. If OC stays out of the way, Kevin Patullo, bro, just get out of the way. Don't do anything stupid here because your players are too good, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I kind of get that vibe from the quarterback as well. Like exactly how you just worded that. Like I kind of get the vibe from Jalen where he's like, all right, like I'm so used to this damn turnover, like become a non-story to me. Just don't get in my way. Keep running the offense. Give me some good play calls, play in and play out and we'll make it work. Because he does have autonomy now at the line of scrimmage. So he will have the ability to change in and out of plays as long as I think Kevin is giving him good options and giving him, a good plays to get into. And I think he'll be in a good spot.
Wasn't it a year ago we heard this with Jalen Hurts? Didn't he go, 95% of the offense has been changed here? And do you think, Zander, one of the reasons that they hired him, Kevin Patullo, from within is because they didn't want the changing of any kind of new voice coming in because Kellen Moore created a little bit of a dynamic for Jalen Hurts in the first 4 games of the season where it was somebody that was new coming in and they wanted a smoother transition. Do you think, again, I'm not saying that they wouldn't have hired Kellen because it totally worked out, but even Jalen Hurts had a problem with the way Kellen Moore was communicating with him because he said it. And they just made it easier for Hurts. And that's what you're saying here is, hey, just get out of the way. We know one another. Nothing's going to be crazy here. We got the same. Barkley says the same thing. We got the recipe. We know what we're doing here. Let's not do it because a year ago, Jalen Hurts complained about the terminology when he said 95% of the offense.
He made that comment, and I do think you're right. Like I think he's dealing with that better. But I'm starting to get to a point where I'm wondering how much more effing terminology even exists that Jalen hasn't had. I mean, this dude has had Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, Brian Dable, Mike Loxley, Doug Peterson, Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, Shane Steichen. I mean, Brian Johnson. I'm like, this
Press
dude
Taylor.
is given every terminology that exists. No wonder he's more comfortable now. He's kind of like, Patullo, he's not going to mix up the apple cart that much. I mean, it can't be more than Kellen Moore was last year, and I have autonomy at the line of scrimmage anyway. So, I think he's much more comfortable now because he probably was told by the owner, we want to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And if you want to be successful, we're going to lose guys because we're a good organization and people want to poach from us. Right. Lincoln Riley, Deshae, that might be the one I forgot. But I think he's probably more comfortable now than ever.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think, you know what? Through all the issues of them changing out the coordinators, man, I think it's become an absolute positive. Like you said, I mean, this guy –
he's like quadlingual at this point, dog. This guy's got like every football language down.
Absolutely. So, a Queasy, guess what? That guy should work at the UN. This guy's like a translator now of coordinating offenses in the NFL now.
You never know, man. Maybe you think politics are in Hurts' future. He showed a propensity to step outside his bounds, man. He might end up there.
Well, either that or Hollywood because he's out there in Malibu now.
He'll be Hollywood, then he'll go like Schwarzenegger, like Hollywood, and then also politics.
Yeah, he's the new Terminator. I don't know. How about this number 7? Yeah, he's like the Terminator on the field. Okay, anyway. Is there too many young guys?
There's a lot. Now, they are a special group of young guys in that they have achieved a lot for a group of young players. You probably couldn't put together a collection of guys this age across the rest of the NFL that had this many accolades as these guys have on any other team. So I'm not saying that means that it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows, but I do think they're slightly more experienced and capable of handling the moment for their age than maybe the average NFL player would be. But it's a lot. I mean, even last year, you had Slay, you had Gardner Johnson, you had some other dudes, Brandon Graham. Now they're really relying, right? Like Slay was the leader of the corners. Now you're relying on Quinyon. BG was, in theory, the leader of the defensive front guys. Now you're relying on Nolan and Jalix. Gardner Johnson was that loud veteran player in the secondary, more so even than Reed Blankenship. Now you're relying on Reed to help, Makuba and Brown and the other youngsters back there. So it is a lot of youth. Now, makes me feel good about the football field, but does it make me feel good about the things that are required to produce on the football field? Maybe a little queasy, but I feel all right about it.
How about this? These are first-year starters. Jalix Hunt, Moro Jomo, Trotter, Makuba, and Ringo. 5 new starters with no starting experience in pro football. I mean, boy, dude. None of these guys have ever started. I don't think Moro Jomo's ever started, right? I don't think he started. That's a lot. 5 dudes. You're going to have 6 new. Now, I think Steen has started. He started over on the offensive guards. I think he had a couple games where he started.
Yeah, he started some. Some. Wasn't
These
particularly
guys haven't.
great. I said he wasn't particularly great, but.
No, but he's at least been in the fire of starting.
Yeah, right.
5.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I feel confident in the young guys, but I will say it's not the most common thing where teams just get 25-year-olds and roll them out there and that, everything goes perfect. But
some
again,
of these guys are 22.
We got a special group of players. We got special coaches. We got a special quarterback who has a mentality that makes up. And I mean that though, because like if you don't have the veteran presence on the field in your talent, you have to have it in other places. And Vic Fangio certainly suits that role on the defensive side as the coordinator, right? I mean, that guy's got enough experience for 10 players put together, for crying out loud. Jalen Hurts is a different acting 27-year-old than a majority of people. The way he handles himself, the way he speaks, the slogans, but he does, he's proven to practice what he preaches to a large extent. So I'm not even ripping him, but, and then Sirianni has proven that he can connect with every different type of player. I mean, say what you want about how the front office felt about Gardner Johnson. I watched Gardner Johnson and Nick Sirianni cry in each other's arms like multiple times last year. So he can connect with that guy. He can connect with Jalen Hurts, and he can connect with, Jalen Carter. They're all different types of players. And Nick Sirianni, man, I think he deserves more credit.
Yeah.
Come on, Brian Biddy.
Oh, Nick.
Come on, Abe.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let Nick roast my ribs. I mean, but that's just me though. Okay. Anyway.
Dude, you're eating like dried out ribs, no sauce, no seasoning,
I don't
no
cook
salt,
my ribs.
pepper.
My old
You
lady
can't
does.
cook shit.
You bet I can't. My old lady does it. I'm not very good at it, and I'll burn my freaking house down.
Yeah.
So I'm not good at it.
Keep Sileo away from the grill.
Absolutely. I'm not allowed to fire in my hands.
I'm good on the grill, my friend.
Oh, that's great to hear, man. I wish I was. I'm just not good.
I don't. No, I mean, I like grilling out because it's like the aesthetic is nice, but like, people always rip me because I'm like, dude, I don't put a plate in the dishwasher. Like I grew up with a fully 100% Italian mom. Like she cooked, she's worked her whole life. She worked every single day. She came home, she fed all 4 of her kids, home cooked meals every night, loaded the day. Like she did everything. That's my mom. She was an Italian, Now my beautiful girlfriend's she's not Italian and she's got some Italian in her, but she's not 100% like my mother. And she does everything for me. And her family looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. They're like, do you do anything in the kitchen? Do you load dishwashers? Do you cook at all? Do you do anything? I'm like, I really don't do any of that shit. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Hey, I'll tell you this. So my girlfriend, then now my wife, I took her back to Connecticut, and like my grandmother, man, used to take my socks roll them up, put them together, put them in my top drawer.
Yeah.
My underwear here, my sheets were here. Everything was fucking perfect. My girlfriend, now wife, goes like this. This is fucking pathetic. She just couldn't get it.
Dude, you got Italian, you're Italian guardians. You get it, man. They spoil us. That's how it is. No, but I will say this. I was not this guy, Jack. I was actually the opposite. When I went to college and I had roommates, I was actually the opposite. And I didn't have a mother to do it for me. So that was the only time in my life where I did it. But, dude, my roommates were nuts. I mean, there was beer cans everywhere. I don't even drink. I didn't even drink like that in college. It's just like, oh, Jack. I mean, it's a nightmare, but it certainly wasn't my issue.
When I was in college, I had a girl named Lori LaRue come in and clean everything up, put it away.
That's funny.
That wasn't funny. Me, man. No way. Pizza boxes everywhere. Yeah, can you throw those away for me, please?
Yeah, please.
That's not working.
I need a room cleaning. I need a vacuuming. I need my sheets washed.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, I'm not very good at any of that shit. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. That is.
You think Vic does it again?
Yeah. I think he does it. I don't think
because of his track record, right?
I don't think he does it to the same extent. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to have another historic defense. You know, I think we're going to be really good. I think we're going to exceed expectations. And I think even if we don't get to the promised land this year, I think we'll all feel really good about the young players that we have really made the future of the Philadelphia Eagles for the next 5 years. There are guys that we are all hoping pan out that are getting bigger roles this year that really could be here for the next 5, 7, 8 years, some of them. Maybe even longer in some cases with Cooper and Jalen Carter and Quinion. I could see those guys being 10-year guys in Philly. So I think Vic is going to do it again from a sense of you look at Ringo and you're like, he came to life. You look at the young guys on defense, Jahad Campbell, you look at Jalix Hunt, and I think you're going to feel really good about those guys. And maybe that results in a top 5 unit. But I think overall, I think Vic is going to really do a good job at getting these guys to where they need to be. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be the number 1 overall defense this year, although I think they have a chance. But I think they're going to be on the right direction.
I wonder if you'll follow this philosophy with me here.
Uh-oh.
I think they did a lot of this business. The way that they did this offseason was because, bro, the NFC stinks. I mean, the Lions took a step back in their O-line, coaching-wise, O-line. Minnesota took a step back. You don't know what the fuck they're doing at quarterback. You got a bunch of mercenaries in Chicago. How's that going to work? None of them are homegrown guys. You brought a bunch of dudes off the boat. How'd that work for you guys when you had the All-American team or that fucking Dream Team thing? How'd that work for them? Remember that thing fell apart fast. 49ers have a weak schedule and a bunch of weak dudes. The Cowboys, where'd they get better? George Pickens? Oh, shit. Really?
The commies are going backwards. I'm telling you, man.
The commies are. We'll talk to Joe Theismann. We'll get his take on that.
I'm telling you, man.
No, I think they're going to be. I think they're going to probably be again.
They're going to be good because they got.
But here they're going to have to depend on health because they're older. They're going to have to depend on health. How about this? They got to the NFC Championship game with lesser players, and they've upgraded. Okay? They upgraded. Hey, Prince, I'll tell you what I have for you, bro. I got something that's really nice and crusty right now, and I'm about to hand it to you. So hang on there. We'll get to your supers in a second here. So tell me where you think the NFC's good. And this is what I think the Eagles did. You know, we're going to take a couple steps back in personnel here, but the rest of the NFC didn't get better.
They're nowhere close to us.
No, how about this? You took 2 steps back. The rest of the league, the rest of the NFC took 4.
Well, I don't know if
you were so far ahead of them.
Some of them took steps up, but we were 6 steps ahead to begin with. So if the Rams took a step forward and we took 2 steps back, they're still 2 steps. Still 2 steps back on us, man. So,
dude, here are the teams that got better in the NFC.
And Rams.
Rams, as much as you don't agree, we'll agree to disagree on Commanders. But then who else? Who else got better?
I don't
in the
know
NFC?
why. I think you, knowing you,
No,
and the
because I know that quarterback.
Silioization of your
Awesome.
own, the Silioization of
No,
yourself sometimes, where you have to believe your own
no, I
lies,
picked them to
and
win.
the way you've spoken about
No,
Jaden and all.
wait,
You look at this Commanders team, and you're like, wait a
no,
second, they're
no.
geriatrics. They're old.
I wasn't really off that much with the Commanders. I said they'd win the East. They didn't, but they
You were
went to the
spot
NFC.
on last year. Your take on the Commanders was great last year, but this
And
is
I
a
said
new
he
year.
would win the Rookie of the Year offensively, and he did.
Yeah, this is a new year, man. They didn't have Debo and Tunsil, and I mean, dude, these guys, they could have four injuries and before week 3, they could be
And
toast.
he still took that shitty team to the NFC title game.
Well, you're not wrong about that, and that's where I think they do have the best chance, is that if that kid takes another step like he did last year and he can handle the sophomore year better than a lot of quarterbacks do, then they'll have a good chance. But my estimation is that he's going to be not, I'm not saying Jane Daniels isn't going to be a great player. I think he's a great football player, but I don't think he's going to be able to take as sizable a jump as he needs to take with that team because of what other
But I
people
don't
are
think
going to
the
know about him now.
NFC is that good. I don't think the NFC is that good.
They're not. The Eagles are the best team in the NFC, and it's not really close.
Get this. The Eagles probably, with all those 5-starter, first-time starters, bro, if they're decent, they're going to win 12 games. If they're better than decent, they're going to win more. Why? Because the NFC, dude, tell me who got better. The Rams? The Bucks? I don't know.
Rams, I'll give you commies. I mean, I'll give you them.
Okay, Rams,
Bucks are better. Bucks. The Bucks are good. The Bucks are a sleeper team. I like the way the Bucks are building. They're kind of doing it slow and steady, but they have a good foundational team. They got a good offensive line. They have a solid quarterback who's only improved and had a really, really good year last year.
Really good running backs.
3 great wideouts. They have a solid defense with a defensive-minded head coach. They have the things I think you need to have a good foundation. So I do like the Bucks. But let's be real, they don't really scare me in terms of Super Bowl.
You're better. You're better than them.
Yeah. I mean, Lions are good, but I think the Lions got worse.
They did. They lost Ragnow, a guard, and their coordinators.
Yeah. They're worse.
Okay. I mean, so my point is that Philly probably looked at it like this. Bro, if you're not going to catch us. If you're going to catch Philly, it's this year. Because the next 2 years after this, dude, it's over.
Dude, and I don't see it this year. I mean, look, like this is a team. Like Abe brings up the Packers. I'm like, dude, like what are they doing? Like they were right there 2 years ago, and they never made the jump. Like this is where Howie's got all these GMs beat. Like when in 2021, when we went to the playoffs with Devontae Smith and trash cans as Jalen Reagor next to him and all these other bullshit receivers, Howie looked and said, "We got a chance. Let's make the jump." You got the Packers. They beat the shit out of the Cowboys in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Make the jump. Do something. What have they done? They haven't done shit. I don't know what the Packers are doing.
Okay, I got one more last one here for you. This is my defense. This is what I want to see on the field against the Dallas Cowboys. You ready? Week 1. Here's the players. I want Moro Jomo at end. Davis at nose. Jalen Carter at end. Nolan Smith at will. Inside left linebacker, Zach Bond. Right inside linebacker, I want Munden, because I'm going to do this to you guys. I'm sorry. Until somebody proves it to me. Campbell Nakobe is the only other guy, Nakobe. And Trotter. Bro, I've never seen Trotter in a starting or even a playing position. Just to assume he's going to be a good player when he's never started it down and he got very little reps is insane. To think he's going to be the starting inside linebacker versus the Dallas Cowboys game 1 when he's never even really played. This guy has no game experience. And he's going to do the opener against the Cowboys? Dude, he's not the athlete the kid from Georgia is. Now, the only other guy I'm putting in there would be Nakobe. And if he's not ready, I'm going to put the best available athlete in there. I just don't, again, there's a lot of love for Trotter. And I trust Vic. One position that fucker knows better than anybody. It's clearly the linebacker position. That's his forte. That's his forte.
And the other thing is this, Sills, like if you are right, this is what I like the most about Vic. It's not that I trust him to get the most out of players. If you are right and somebody is better than Trotter,
yes,
you already know they're gonna be on the field. He's not gonna sit here and baby people around or pussyfoot around. If Trotter's not good enough and Munden is better or whatever, there's another option there. Guess what? Trotter's going to the bench.
That's right.
And that's what I like the most about Vic Fangio.
I got Jalen Hunt starting at strong.
I'm a little surprised, by the way, though, that you're so out on Trotter. I just think you haven't seen it yet.
I'm not out. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, you're just not. You're not ready to have confidence.
No, I'm not ready to call him. I'm not ready to give him a spot that he's not earned yet.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's never played it. I mean, he's played very little. Did he get into any games whatsoever a year ago even?
I think he got into a couple when we were blowing teams out because we put belt to ass on so many. I know he had some snaps in that NFC title game where the Washington Communists couldn't sniff our jock strap. Where's James Jones been? He's in hiding because he knows his team got worse. So, I think Trotter did get some snaps in some of those games, but nothing crazy.
Okay, here. And the depth chart, they got Azeez Ojulari. I'm like, no way. I'm putting Hunt in there, and I'm starting that guy over Azeez Ojulari. Why? Because he's bigger, and I believe he's a better run player than Ojulari is. So I'm putting his ass. That's who I don't want to see.
Who? Joshua Uchi?
None of those guys. Those guys are all rotation guys when it comes to third down. Now, my DBs are going to be different for you. Left cornerback, I've got Q. Here's my safeties. Reed and Cooper are my safeties. Now, when you go to nickel, obviously you move him back out and you put Tristan in. That's who Vic went to last year.
Sileo loves Tristan McCullum. Yeah,
so
he's like your Ben Van Sumeren. He really is.
Wait a minute. Yeah, but Vic uses him.
He's your Benny Ben.
Who's the one guy Vic mentioned in his meeting when he was down at a press conference about a safety play? It was Tristan McCullum, wasn't it?
It was.
How you doing? And my right cornerback is Adoree Jackson. Until Keely Ringo shows me he can play, he's never started a fucking down. But we're going to light him up against CeeDee Lamb week 1. All right. Yeah.
Fuck CeeDee Lamb.
Hey, no. Guy's never started a down. He's playing against the second or third best receiver in football. All right. I don't really like CeeDee as much as like you like CeeDee. I don't know. I think he's a really good player. But do I think if I was going to pick a receiver to be on my team, when I pick CeeDee Lamb, that would have to be a no.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I do think he's a good player, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good player.
Anytime you have 135 catches in a year, you know what I mean? Like, you're getting open, man. I don't give a fuck. By the way, I don't give a fuck where you line up, okay? Because there's not that many receivers on that football team. When you're catching the ball 135 times, you're doing something right, okay?
Yeah, but get this, though. If you're catching 135 passes and you're a 5-win team, I don't know. I mean, where am I going?
He had 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, 135 catches. I mean.
And where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Yeah, but is that him?
No. But, I mean, let
me ask you this. Where would they have been without him?
Okay, let me ask you this. If the Dallas Cowboys don't make the playoffs and you pay CeeDee Lamb $36 million and the quarterback $60 and you paid Micah $40, what that would be the ultimate Eagle fantasy, is if the Cowboys don't make the playoffs and you pay all them guys that money. They'll be in holy hell.
Steve, look, remember I had this debate last year with everybody. Deshae, I'm sure you're going to side against me again. You think Devontae Smith's better than CeeDee Lamb?
No. But again, you're talking about an elite receiver in Smith. I mean, dude, there's a lot of elite receivers in the game today. There's a ton of elite receivers. Jamar Chase is elite. Jefferson's elite. I mean, Devontae Smith has the potential to be even more elite once he gets into the one role. Again, his biggest problem, Zander, when you're comparing him, you can't compare guys going against the lesser corners. You just can't. It's not, I mean.
Yeah, but can you hold that against CD for lining up in the slot?
You bet I do. That's one of the reasons I don't really want him on my team, is because he does line up against safeties and the second worst corner on the field. Yes. That's why he's not, like, Jefferson blows that guy's doorknobs off. That guy's had Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold throwing him the ball, and he's on a historic Jerry Rice pace. I mean, come on.
Well, Fredo brings up a good point. I mean, he says CeeDee Lamb never made the catches Devontae made. And you're right. Devontae's made some big catches, but Fredo, that's a little bit of a vanity metric, because you great catches are nice, but that's the icing on the cake, right? You want a guy that produces play in and play out, that gets open play in and play out, and is a reliable target as a wide receiver. Now, I love Devontae Smith's catches. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Devontae doesn't do the other things well too. He does. But I'm saying that's not a perfect gauge to judge who's a better receiver, who's made the nicer catches. You know what I mean? It's not, and at least not in my opinion. I want the guy
who's more
consistent.
explosive?
Probably
I think Devontae is.
I don't know. CD's pretty fast, man.
Who makes more explosive plays?
I don't know. I know that.
Well, I remember watching Devontae make plays in the back of the end zone. I mean, I see CD collecting a lot of garbage wide receiver numbers and catches. I don't really see that guy doing any of that. I don't. Okay. I mean, I just don't see that.
No, I don't either. You got Joe in the green room. Is Joe now or 5:30?
I thought Joe was 5:30.
Joe, I thought he was.
Yeah, because we got John Morgan coming up here at 4:30. So let me see if we can.
One second.
Let's double check here. Yeah, let's double check here. Yeah, I got 5:30.
Let me see.
I can't show you his phone number, but I got 5:30.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, let's
get me out of here. Let me.
All right,
I'll call. Let me just read these super chats real quick.
Okay, let's do the supers here.
Kyle says, Sills and Zander, everyone wants Brown and Smitty to get more yards, but I think the key is Goedert, to get Goedert more involved. I'll text Joe. He just dropped it. I'll text him once I get off here. I think the key is to get Goedert more involved. Why do you say that, Kyle?
Well, because it'll improve the passing game, intermediate passing too.
Yeah, but like I said before, man, I don't want to get A.J. Brown the ball for any other reason other than that he is effing A.J. Brown, okay? Do the Bengals want to get Jamar Chase the ball? Do the Cowboys want to get CeeDee Lamb the ball? Do the Dolphins want to get Tyreek Hill the ball? Take your pick.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Brown.
Bro, get the ball in the hands of A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A.J. Brown. True. Prince says, "What up, Prince?" Stills can't cook to save his life, but put a plate in front of him and suddenly he's Michelin starred at eating. At least learn how to grill, my guy.
Man, who wrote your jokes? The guy that Rodney Dangerfield fired? Holy shit, guy. Awful L. Big time L. How you doing? Thank you for the super, though, there.
Let me check text,
Prince.
Joe.
Let's see what we got going here, man.
Here we go. I got another one.
Okay.
Kimberly says, remember the names Elijah Griffin and Zayden Walker.
Who?
Probably Georgia guys.
Who? Okay. If Joe wants to do 5 o'clock, we can do that.
I just texted him. He read it. So let me see what he says.
Okay. The script is planned. The pain is real.
What do you think of what the Steelers did?
Well,
talk about some old heads.
They surely got older.
Talk about some old heads.
I mean, so you got Slay and Ramsey. Boy, I'll tell you, you better hope nobody gets hurt back there. And then you got a 41-year-old quarterback. Boy, it sounds like the Steelers. I mean,
Joe's good. He says they didn't change the clock at the club. I thought it was 5:30. I'll be good in an hour.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Because, that guy can jack on me a little bit and drop the hammer off the top rope. He's the
I can
kindest
see
guy.
that. He's always
Oh, yeah.
been good to me.
Yeah, that's good to hear that, because that guy could get on people's asses.
Yeah, I know. You told me that once before.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, Sil, it's a great show, man. I'll catch you tomorrow.
You got it. By the way, make sure you catch Zander out, and we will catch him on Birds 365. By the way, that's great. Joe Theismann will join us. That'll be at 5:30. We will talk to the former Super Bowl MVP, or excuse me, Super Bowl champion, former NFL MVP, and we will get his take. Now, the reason that I got John Morgan on, so the National Football League and the Players Association, this is one of the this is right up John's lane. I want to read this before I bring John Morgan up. This is the National Football League's ruling, and I wanted to have John tell me what true collusion is. In a recent ruling, and this is from the Players Association, which I'm a member of, the NFL was found to have encouraged teams to reduce guaranteed money in veteran contracts, but the arbitrator dismissed the collusion case brought by the NFLPA due to insufficient evidence. However, the judge's ruling came down with this asterisk to it. The arbitrator's ruling explicitly stated, though, that the National Football League's Management Council, with the backing of the commissioner of the National Football League, Roger Goodell, encouraged clubs to reduce guaranteed contracts to veterans, which means this: it's nothing on paper, but the commissioner at the NFL owners meetings in 2022 was directing teams, general managers, to make sure, let's keep costs down. So what did that mean? Players weren't getting the signing bonuses that Tom Brady said coming out of COVID. Remember, the salary cap didn't move, but owners' revenues went up, but the cap went down. Why did the cap go down and revenues go up? They were trying to keep the money down. So the NFLPA, along with the league, colluded against players. And independent